So let's check the freezer. There's the torch, and it's pretty much encased in solid ice now. Let's just see whether it's still lit. And yeah, there's the glow at the bottom of the torch. So that's still working in Firefly mode. Okay, let's have a look on the bench. Okay, so on the bench, here it is. It's fairly solid. You can see that it's still shining. It does seem to be a slightly odd colour, and there's a dark patch in there, but we'll investigate that. You can see the torch label there, TC10, and although there is some water in it, it's pretty much solid. So what I might do at this point is do the drop test as well to kind of shatter the ice and see if I can get the torch out of this plastic bottle. So I'm standing on the garden wall here. There's probably a metre or so's drop here, and I've got the torch here, so I'm just going to drop it. That's about 2 meters, I would guess. Let's see what happens. Yes, that's a very solid thud. I don't think the ice cracked much. Let's take it back inside. So after the drop, the ice has definitely cracked and shattered here, but it's still solid in there. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that torch out very easily. I'll start cutting the plastic away, but I think I'm just going to have to let the ice melt. Well, the plastic's quite hard and brittle, and I'm just really just tearing it away from the ice here. Quite easily, really. And now cutting it with this modelling knife to try and remove the remainder of the plastic. Oh yeah, that's out. Okay, good. And that hasn't really helped, because now it's almost impossible to hold because it's extremely slippery and very, very cold, but you can see it's still illuminated there, and I might have to just now leave it to thaw out. Of course, I can always help it along a bit with a bit of hammering, but all that's succeeded in doing is chucking ice all around my workshop, so maybe not the best idea. Well, of course, this is the answer. Pour hot water in it, so that's starting to melt quite nicely now. That should be out of there pretty soon, and hopefully it will remain, oh, well, I think I've done it, remain below its maximum temperature of 40 degrees C. Okay, back on the bench. Right, well, the hot water was very effective at getting this back out. So that's still fine in Firefly mode. We'll just dab this dry. I'm just wondering whether there might be a little bit of moisture inside the lens there. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. Okay, let's dry that off and then check the various brightness levels. So yeah, that's still switching between all 4 brightness levels. Seems to be working fine. Now in turbo mode, the red light is now flashing. I'm not sure whether that's because the cell is cold. It's flashing in high and even in low. See what temperature the cell is, if it's warmed up a bit. Oh, that feels relatively light room temperature. So I think I'll give it a bit of a charge now. Now I've just actually taken the cell that was in the ThruNite TN12 torch out to put it in this torch to carry on with this review. I thought it might be interesting just seeing these two flashlights side by side. The TC10 is a little bit bigger than the TN12. I've also noticed that the two cells have different top types. This one is a flat top and this one's a button top, so they do appear to be completely interchangeable. Both flashlights seem happy with both cell types. Now I can see a little bit of discoloration, that yellowing around the LED, but it's hard to exactly work out where it is, and it's quite difficult to get on camera. I don't remember that being there before. I'm just wondering whether that has occurred since the freezing, but I can't be 100% sure about that. So I'm outside now and it's starting to get quite dark. It's certainly dusk. My 30-watt garden solar light is on, and I'm going to compare the ThruNite TC10 with just an incandescent power tool lamp with a power tool battery on it, and throw them up onto this little wooden shed here. So at fairly close range, the TC10 needs to be in at least medium or high to outdo the power tool battery, and then turbo takes it a stage further. Now I'm going to point them at the shed, which is right down the bottom of the garden. So this is about 20 meters. The power tool battery is very dim. Let's start raising up the TC10, and you can see that that picks out the shed pretty well. My archery target there is also picked out reasonably well by the TC10. And at about 30 meters, the power tool lamp, which is on the shed, is barely visible. So I'll turn on the TC10 now and start raising the brightness up, and you can pick out the shed with relative ease with this thing in turbo mode. And now I'm just shining it at arm's length at just a bit of plain fence, so you get an idea of the beam pattern with the flood area around the central spot area in the middle. So that's the ThruNite TC10 rechargeable 900 lumens LED torch. It survived being encased in ice and frozen for about 5 or 6 hours. It survived a 2 meter drop, also still encased in ice. The LED colour now looks pretty reasonable. I think maybe that discoloration has gone away. It's certainly a very bright and very tough LED flashlight. So I'm just going to now recharge the battery. Cheerio.